Right, it's good to see a few more people coming through. I think it's probably a good time to get started.
Yeah, great. Thank you everyone for joining us today for the webinar. My name is Emily. I'm the Marketing Executive at Bluecar Technologies. I'm joined by Christian from Bluecar and Tobias from DocuSign, who are part of our legal customer success team. So I'll just share my screen and we'll get started. So I'll be starting off doing a quick introduction on both companies, then we'll dive into DocuSign's capabilities such as document visibility and retention, and then Christian will be giving us a live demo of Bluecar Technologies' market-leading DMS integration with DocuSign, and then we'll end with a Q&A session. So feel free to drop any questions into the Q&A and we'll answer them at the end. So Bluecar Technologies, we're based in Reading and we provide integrations between DocuSign and your chosen DMS, such as iManage Work, which Christian will be using today. We're a DocuSign partner as well as reseller, so we can also provide DocuSign licenses as well as Azure hosting services. And we also specialize in bespoke software development. With DocuSign, you can save time and increase productivity within your firm, also reduce risk and improve governance. They're the world's #1 way to sign electronically, and they have over 1 billion users in over 100 countries. DocuSign can be used for many tasks such as litigation, transactions, and internal operations, as well as many more. Here are just some of our customers, some of Bluecar and DocuSign customers that are currently benefiting from our solutions. And now I will pass you over to Toby, who will show you some of DocuSign's capabilities.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Emily. Let me just share my screen quickly. All right. Yeah, what I would like to show you today, or first of all, maybe let me introduce myself. I'm Toby, as Emily had said, and a solutions consultant at DocuSign, and I have been working there for 1.5 years, really consulting our customers on the abilities of digitizing their contracting and e-signature processes. So really what I would like to show you today are just some advanced features that you can use in that process as well for your documents within your firm. So especially 4 of those I would like to highlight to begin with, so you can watch out for those during the demo as well. But the main thing is really I want to show you what this can look like in practice. So one of them is the document visibility, so that you can really steer exactly who sees what document at what point in time. Then supplemental documents, so you can really attach documents that may be text heavy to the main documents, so that it just makes for a very easy to digest way for your recipients to sign those. The conditional routing is another one that I would like to highlight today. Based on conditions that you define, you can then change the person who needs to actually receive those documents for you internally. And then lastly, the retention period, which is something that you are able to really define according to your needs. With that, let's jump right in. So with the DocuSign web application that I'm using right here, you do have the ability to create a really short overview over everything that's going on in your account. So we are here in Sarah's account. She is actually a solicitor at Tally Solicitors in our example. And she can see straight away, is my action required here? Do I maybe need to sign something? Where am I waiting for others to sign? And is anything expiring soon? So really at one glance, she knows and sees everything there. She can then also go ahead and if she wants to drag and drop documents in here to start the sending process, or she could click the start button to send an envelope, sign a document, or use a template. Now, when I say envelope, what does that mean? You can really compare it to a real-world envelope that contains one or several documents, and also information on the sender and the recipients, of course. But DocuSign goes even further in that you can have automatic reminders, for example, or your own branding associated with all of those documents. When it comes to the templates, this is really, you can think of it like a recyclable envelope. So for many use cases, your documents will always be the same or very similar documents. And then the process, the workflow behind those documents is also very easy and comparable mainly, so that you can really save your senders time to do this. And this is what I've done today. I have actually put an engagement letter for a property transaction in here as a template, and we're going to send this out to our client. So first thing I'll do is I just hit use here, and I'm then able to have a look at what exactly has been predefined here for us. First thing is we can see we've got a solicitor in here. It's Sarah herself. She needs to sign this document before it goes out. Then we've got the client. That's the only thing that really needs to be added here, because that is the information that changes. So we're just going to add her here, her name and email address here. Then we've got a routing group. So these are people who, depending on certain conditions, are needed to approve certain documents. I'll show you that in practice in a moment. And then lastly, we've got an assistant who receives everything once it has been signed, and all that she will do is actually add the date at the end. You can see a little preview of the documents here on the right-hand side already, but let's just go into advanced edit so I can show you exactly what this looks like behind the scenes. It could have been sent out straight away, so that would have been all your sending process necessary. I just want to tell you and show you exactly how this looks like from behind the scenes, as I've said. You've got first of all the documents up here, 3 parts basically: documents, the recipients, which is what we had just filled out already, and then the message that goes out with those documents. So if we have a look at the documents here, we can see our engagement letter. We can also see a client information form. And then we've got 3 attachments to those documents. What we also have down here is the ability just generally to maybe change the order if we need to. So by changing those numbers or dragging and dropping the individual recipients, you can achieve that. And then what you have down here is our message that will also dynamically include the client's username. So you're always able to find it back in your account afterwards as well. Okay, so we can send it again straight from here. Just one more page I would like to show you before we actually send it out. This is now our tagging screen, if you will. With this screen, we decide who needs to do what in the document. So all of this, you can see there's fields in here already. This has been predefined and pulled in automatically already because we are using that template. So there's no need for me to do anything here. We can send it out straight away. But if any changes are needed, you can, of course, always drag and drop fields in here like this. You're also able to have a look at the different kinds of recipients. So you can see there's always a color associated with the different recipients here. And you can always also see those colors here on the right-hand side. For example, in this, at the end of the engagement letter here, what we can see are those 2 colors, so everyone knows exactly what they will need to do. The second document in here is actually quite interesting in that it contains approval steps, so buttons here for that approval person. Because it's not very clear yet exactly who is going to do this, there's a condition associated with it. So you can see here that if the property value, that was the first field which we saw above, that yellow one, is above or equal to £500,000, then Michael needs to approve this. If it's lower than that, then this will go out to Peter. So just showing you this as a possibility there. And if we scroll further down, what we can see here are those 3 attachments. You can see they aren't actually visible as part of this document, but you are able to, of course, have that in the background and define exactly the conditions that need to be met. So there's different conditions that we have here, and I will show you this from the client's point of view in a moment. Okay, with this, last thing I wanted to show you here is actually, if we just go back into this document here, we've got document visibility as well. So there might be cases where maybe one or more documents should not be seen by certain individuals within the actual workflow. So you can actually save this here as part of the template. So you can define exactly what should be visible to whom. And you will see that as we go through, not everyone sees all of the documents. Okay, with that, I would say let's send it out, and then we can have a look at the client's point of view in a moment. First, though, because we are the first person in that workflow, remember Sarah, it's Sarah's account, she needs to enter the missing information and then also put her signature in the document. So if we continue from here, she can either scroll through the document or even use this assistant here to send her to all of the required fields and then enter the property value here. So we can just enter 500,000 in our instance, and then actually let us, bring us down to where we need to sign. So Sarah is now done with everything that she needs to do. And we can finish this process, and that is everything that is required for us internally for Sarah. Now we've seen what this looks like for Sarah. Once she has sent it out, we are being redirected into this manage page. The manage page, you can really think of it like an email inbox. We've designed it like that on purpose. On the left-hand side, you've got certain categories, and at the very top, you can also see the search bar and some filters. But the main purpose of it is really that you always know exactly what is going on with your envelopes, that you have sent out. You can hover here and see Laura is next to sign in our one. And then if we click into this, we can really follow the whole process through and know always exactly where things are and where things stand. So what we're now going to do is have a look at what this looks like for our client. Our client, Laura, in our example, is going to receive an email here, and you can see when she clicks into it, it's got the Tully branding. We've also chosen the colors here that Tully would like, and we've got the email that goes with it. What we don't have, though, are any attachments. Instead, you have to actually review those documents via this button. And that's when it opens up. Laura always has access to this email again if she wants to see any more details at that stage. But if she hits continue, she's sent right into that document. And she can also scroll through now, or use that assistant to send her where she needs to go. You can see the name and date here have already been filled. We just need to now click on sign. And because Laura doesn't have a DocuSign account, she doesn't need one either as a client of yours, if you will. But what she needs to do is let us know how she wants to sign. So this she can just use the one that we suggest here and take that one there. But there's also the option of changing the style if she wants to. She could also draw her signature. This would actually be the default on a mobile and tablet device, or upload a signature file instead. Main thing to remember here, it doesn't matter because it's really just a stylistic choice. that code down here is always going to be the same code. So this is going to be saved alongside her name, email address, and the IP address as well. So let's just adopt and sign with this one. And then we've got another field here that we need to fill in. So I'm just going to do that right here. Okay, and that's the address filled out, everything she needs to do. And now she might want to say, okay, I want to finish this now. But no, she then sees, okay, she actually needs to have a look at those attachments as well. When I say needs to have a look, there are 3 different types that we can actually use here. With this one, the first one here, she can just hit accept without even looking at it. It's obviously not the most recommended version of doing things, but you can also, if we have a look at the second one here, it doesn't even give me that accept button before I hit view. So this is how we can make sure that people actually open the document and then are able to hit accept. And the third one, particularly important if you have longer documents in there, you can open this up, and I don't actually get the accept button unless I scroll to the very end. So this is how you can force people and force your clients really to have a look at everything that you have attached there. So it's really up to you what you would like to do with those supplemental documents. The main thing to remember is it just makes for a much better user experience for your clients rather than sending those very long PDFs out to them. Okay, and with that, we can finish the process. Just remember, we just saw both documents that we have sent out and those 3 attachments here. So let's finish the process. Okay. And then we actually land at a page that you would have predefined as part of your branding. This can be your contact us page in case there are any further questions, for example, as well. All right. Now let's have a look at what this looks like for Sarah in her account, because she obviously wants to keep track of what is happening. And she can see straight away, because we have real-time updates about this, that Laura has just signed. And what we can also see is now Michael, it's Michael's turn next. You remember that we entered 500,000 into that property value field at the beginning. And this is why this is being redirected to Michael now, rather than Peter, who we had seen earlier as his colleague. So with that, I would say that we go into Michael's inbox and see what's happening there. Michael has also received an email, but rather than sign, it just says approve here. So he just needs to have a look at this document and hit the approve button, basically. Or, of course, the decline button is also there for him. If he goes and hits continue here, he's being sent down to wherever this is on the document. And we can see that he also has an optional field here for his comments. So you might ask, or he might actually say something like, all good to go, for example, and then hit the approve button. If he hits the decline button, of course, this will be very valuable information for Sarah to actually know exactly what needs to be changed in that document so that you can start the process over, basically. So let's hit approve in our case. And then we are able to finish this process. Note as well that we have only seen 1 page here as part of this. So Michael, we had decided to begin with, he doesn't need to care about the engagement letter. Really, all he cares about is that client information form. Okay. And then lastly, let me just update the status here. The last person that needs to take action on this document is now our assistant, Agnes. So let's go and go into her account. So if she refreshes here, she's going to see that her action is now required. She would, of course, also receive an email so that she will always be notified whether she's in the account or not. And then by clicking into that, she gets a list of all the things that she needs to do, and she can just hit sign here. Even though we know that she is not really going to sign it, it just means that she needs to take some action on the document. We can hit continue here, and then go down here to the dating field that we need to put in here. And with that, that's everything we need to worry about. And note again, she only sees the client information form, not the actual engagement letter. So let me just finish this. And with that, the whole process is completed. And if that is the case, she doesn't have any further actions, but we know in Sarah's account, the workflow is over now. If that is the case, then you can automatically set a rule so that all the documents are going to be sent out to the client of yours and everyone else who has signed the documents. And you can see that here, for example, if I scroll down, Laura has now received a copy of all the signed PDFs that were part of this envelope. And it would also include all the documents, but also the attachments. And then lastly, even a certificate of completion that I'm going to show you now in the account as well. So this is our whole signature process over now. And I would like to draw your attention now to what it looks like in the account. And that is the last thing I want to show you. You can see everything has been finished, and we were already aware of this now. But you can also have a look at the history of this envelope. So you could actually type into that search bar you saw earlier, Laura Little, find all the envelopes with her and have a look at the history to see exactly what's happened. You can see when envelopes were opened, when they were signed, etc., and at what time. And what you've got here as well is that certificate you saw in the inbox of your client. This really is a quote admissible document summarizing all of the things that have happened as part of an envelope, part of a transaction, if you will. You have the signatures that were used, the IP addresses associated with them, as well as the timestamps here, name and email address, of course, as well. And this is really something that is being used by our customers in court if there's ever any doubt about the legality of the signature. And we always provide this for you at any moment for any envelope that you're sending out. And the last thing here is now I wanted to show you that you are able to, of course, download all of those documents. You could actually include them all and then download a zip file, or combine them all into one PDF file as well. And these documents are actually being kept in your account indefinitely. If you have any, I was talking about document retention earlier, if you have any requirements about that to shorten that period, for example, and then automatically delete them afterwards, then that is absolutely fine as well and can be defined by you. That is everything I wanted to show you today. And with that, I think I'm going to pass it over to Christian there.
Thank you, Toby, for the wonderful DocuSign demo. Hopefully our attendees have found that session useful. So good morning, everyone. My name is Christian. I'm the Business Development and Marketing Manager at Blue Car Technologies. As mentioned by Emily earlier, we do have a very close working relation with DocuSign. And we can be your single point of contact for all of your DocuSign licenses requirements, as well as for our DMS integration. So what I'd like to do today is give you a quick demonstration on how our legal customers can actually benefit from our DocuSign Connected product. So users can initiate the DocuSign signing experience without leaving their familiar document management system environment with a really intuitive, easy to use single right-click action. And signed documents would be returned automatically to the document management system. I'll also like to highlight some of the rich and flexible configuration options on offer from Blue Card Technology as well. Now, for the purpose of demo today, I will use our DocuSign connector for our managed work product, but we do have a DocuSign integration product for other DMS vendors such as OpenText eDocs, NetDocuments, as well as WorkDocs. Now, let me just share my screen. Okay, similar to Toby's demo earlier, you can see I have a copy of the engagement letter which to sign. The difference is I can actually initiate a DocuSign signing experience without leaving my DMS environment. So all I need to do is do a single right click, then you'll see a context menu pop up within iManage, and at the bottom of this context menu, there's an option I can select called Add to DocuSign Envelope. A new window will then pop up, as you can see on my screen, displaying some useful information for me. So here I can add more documents if I wish within iManage. I was able to choose some basic DocuSign user preferences options as well. You can see the default option here is to let the server decide how to add me. I can also add to existing envelope, and for the purpose of the demo today, I'm just going to go ahead and create a new DocuSign envelope. And now on the next screen, you can also see we have a functionality where when the user is configured with more than one sending options, I would be able to choose which account I'd like to use. In this case, I'm going to use Blue Card Technologies Limited. Then we can proceed with the next part of the demo. You can see on my screen, our integration is now initiating the DocuSign in-browser signing experience. You can also see the document has a matching template, document detected. It's prompting me to confirm whether I want to apply the document, the template. So in this case, I would choose to apply the template. I will then be able to proceed with configuring the recipient I want for this particular signing session. So you can see I have a client, I have a solicitor as well. So I'll be able to just quickly populate the email. So in this case, I will make Blue Card Demo 1 as a client and Blue Card Demo 2 as a solicitor. What I can also do, similar to what Toby showcased earlier, I can actually do a bit of customization here, such as adding a customer email message. So what I'll do is please sign my document as per our discussion yesterday. So once I'm happy with the recipient information, I can simply click next. So if we just have a quick preview of the engagement letter, you can see with the template I choose to apply, the workflow and the standard tags have been automatically placed. So I can just quickly send the document to both the recipients. So I'm now acting as the first signer in Blue Card Demo 1, as you can see on top of my screen. So I can simply just click continue. I'll have a chance to review the document. Once I'm happy to proceed, I can just click start. DocuSign would automatically take me to the required signature field, as you can see on my screen, and the name and date have already been automatically populated. So once I'm happy to proceed, I can just apply my DocuSign signature and finish the required signing activity. So what I like to do is just quickly jump to my inbox. So you can see as the second signer for this signing scenario, as Blue Card Demo 2, I have received email notification from DocuSign asking to review the document. So if I just click that, so I need to agree to the terms and conditions and continue. And similar to before, I need to review the document. I'm happy to proceed. I can just click start and then apply my signature. And here I can choose which signature I would like to use. So I'm going to use the standard signature and then finish the signing process. Now, the next part of the process is going to look very similar to what Toby demonstrated earlier. So I'm expecting to see an email notification coming through. As you can see, that has just come through on my screen. So I have received the signed copy of the engagement letter, as well as a DocuSign signing certificate with a summary in PDF attachment. Now, typically, one frustration from our legal customer is users, it is a brilliant process to get documents signed electronically. But when there is a lack of integration with their DMS, user will have to download these documents to the local drive, then track them back into their DMS. One, that's not terribly efficient. Secondly, there's a little bit of governance and compliance concern. For instance, sometimes the user might be on holiday, then it's really difficult for the firm or the IT department to locate these documents. Worse still, some users may have left the organization, and again, it's really difficult to retrieve these documents. Now, with our integration, if I can just jump back to where I initially started the process from, I'm just going to give the chance for the system to catch up. So you can see I don't have to go through any manual steps. I have received the signed copy of the engagement letter, document 2487, as well as the relevant signing certificate, document 2488, as well as a comprehensive activity history document being automatically returned to where I started the process from. So let me just show some of these documents. So here you can see the signed copy of the engagement letter with Blue Card Demo 1 signature, as well as Blue Card Demo 2 with the date. I just want to draw your attention to the right-hand side as well, and the properties. So you can see the signed copy has come back and being declared as a record. So it's read-only. So that's one of the options, configuration options we offer as part of our integration. And if I click expand to view related documents, you can also see there are clear document relations between the signed copy of the engagement letter to the original copy, as well as the relevant signing certificate and envelope history as part of the whole transaction. I think Toby has explained this signing certificate really well in his demos. I'm not going to repeat the same information. So you've got all the essential information you need, which is really important. There is also additional document put together by Blue Card Technologies. So this would include some additional document details, as you can see on my screen. We also give our customers the option to capture important elements as part of the signing experience, such as recipient information. As you can see, both have been captured here, as well as the customer email message. And lastly, there's a comprehensive activity history, giving us some additional information, such as the date and time, user information with geolocation tracking, if that's switched on, user actions, as well as activities. So hopefully you can see what our integration can really help our legal customer to have the seamless integration between DocuSign and their chosen document management system platform, but we also bring these additional documents back automatically to help the firm improve governance and compliance. Toby mentioned earlier about the document retention. So with our integration, effectively your DMS will be your central data repository. You can then define the firm-wide document retention policy to purchase documents to make sure all these important documents are in a single place, which is your DMS. Okay, with that, I would like to just open the blue car DocuSign connector service settings to give you a flavor of some of the really flexible configuration option you can utilize to match your business processes in place. Before I start, I just want to mention, so these are server-wide settings. So once they are applied, they will apply to all users using our integration, which means your firm control having a company-wide DMS integration policy. So first tab I want to go through is iManage. So you can see here we support iManage version 8.5 and above. And in addition, you can see the default value of the document, certificate document, as well as the history document class. But these can be changed based on your preference. Now, if we jump to quickly to the Documents tab, so here you will see a number of useful configuration options. Firstly, we can ask the integration to add signed documents back into the DMS automatically, and also the demo configuration I used earlier was to have new documents, as you can see here. Have individual documents and add the certificates as separate documents. However, there are other options at your disposal. For instance, you can choose to have new versions. You can also choose to combine the documents if that's indeed the firm's preference. Under bulk recipient envelopes, we have the functionality to allow you to configure the option when bulk recipients are applied to an envelope as well. So that's actually one of the new features from our latest release. If I go down the list, you can always check out documents if you wish. So when this option is checked, the service will always check out the original document when it sends for signing, and lock or checking the document on completion of the DocuSign signing process. You can also make the signed documents as records, as I highlighted earlier. You can set the document author to be one of the three options in this drop-down menu. And you can even rename signed documents. You can see we've added executed in its title, but that can certainly be changed. Just quickly, let's have a look at the certificate/history as well. All our legal customers are very hot on compliance and auditing the activity history. So here we'll give you the option to create the history document for all DocuSign transactions, but you also have the option to exclude any voided DocuSign envelopes. I mentioned this earlier, you can also have the option to capture customer emails, recipient information, as well as private messages as part of the activity history. And there are other options for document relation comments, as you can see on my screen as well. So hopefully you can see with our integration, apart from the really easy to use single right-click functionality within iManage to bring documents back, we also give you all these useful configuration options to help you maximize your investment with DocuSign, as well as your document management system. Okay, so with that, are there any questions?
Yes, we have one question that's come through so far. Can the DocuSign connector be installed on premises as well as hosted in the cloud?
Yeah, good question. So when we build the integration, we deliberately made the architecture very flexible. Essentially, it's a Windows service component, so it can be deployed on premises if that's indeed the customer's preference. We also provide a Microsoft Azure hosting and managed service package. So if the customer wants to go down the cloud route, they can either host it themselves in their own tenant, or Blue Card Technologies can provide an entire hosting package, which is a very popular option for some of our customers.
And will you be adding any new functionalities to the product in the future?
Yeah, another good question. So since the product inception back in 2016, it's been evolving ever since. So we constantly speak to our existing customers as well as new customers, and we will be spending considerable amount of effort in terms of bringing out new functionalities. So for instance, the bulk recipient configuration option I showcased earlier, that's actually one of the new features. And also recently we've added support for PDF forms as well for some of our customers in the United States.
Max asks, for deeds, how do witnesses sign documents to witness the signature of the attorneys/signatories?
So with that, I think I'm going to pass that question over to Toby.
Yeah, absolutely. So for deeds, there is, or any document that requires witnessing, there is a possibility of doing what we call e-witness with DocuSign. So essentially what that means is that you would have a list of recipients, just as you saw in our demos today, and you decide yourself who of these recipients, so mostly your client then, would need to have a witness as part of that transaction. And then you can decide whether you define the witness of that person, or whether person actually defines their own witness. And that is a possibility most of our clients, our customers as well, use the second option, so that the person signing can define their own witness. And then as part of the process, before they have access to the document, they have to define their witness's name and email address, as well as phone number, if you wanted to also have that additional step, which I know is mandatory for the HMLR, for example. So this is no problem at all with DocuSign as well.
Thanks, Toby. Anyone else got any more questions? If not, just share my screen again. Thank you everyone for joining our webinar. If you have any more questions, feel free to get in touch with us, and you can also book a follow-up demo. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. As
Thanks
Emily said, please get in touch if you have any requirements, questions, comments, and we look forward to seeing you perhaps in the next one.